Right, just about ready to start. So today we are doing Fight Night commentary, as we've been doing for the past few days. Of course, today we have a special guest with us. Yeah, so today we are streaming the King vs. Niichan's Girl. 2 matches, I believe. It's, let me check what the matchup is actually. I have it in one of my tabs here somewhere. There we go. Hoshiko vs. PE and Ob vs. Kit. So this should be an interesting matchup. And of course, I will be with, I'll not be by myself. I will be joined by Jinsei. So let me just see if he's around. Hey, hey.
Oh. Hello.
Good evening. How are we doing?
Hold on. Let me adjust my my settings. Try again.
Yeah.
I can hear you very faintly, but it might be on my end, although I've turned up my volume.
Alright. Just keep talking in the background while you figure your settings up and I drink some coconut water.
No, I think we got it. I had my audio turned down to 50%.
I see. Alright. So
am I audible?
Oh yes, of course. Let me check if
Wonderful.
Yeah, so if stream can hear you, excellent.
Amazing. Hello, stream. This is so exciting.
But yeah, we're just waiting for the match to start and for both players to get into the lobby whenever that is happening, which should be in about 5 or 6 minutes by my time. Yeah, I mean, what do you make of the matchup? That 2 games being played today, right?
Right. This is Fast Advanced Ob against Kit and Mulch Hoshiko against P.
That is correct. Let me see if I can pull the replay. Not the replay. Wow, scripted. The lists, I was gonna say.
paid actors in Unband. Name a more iconic duo.
Oh.
I told Brandon he has to go down in the 5th. No, I think we're gonna have some really exciting matches, and I'm really happy to go over. Actually, would you send me the lists as well, just so I have
Yeah,
them in front
let
of
me shoot you the link.
Amazing. Because I remember going over these back when we had to do our side selection.
Yeah.
But ever since I haven't looked at them too closely, I know. Do you want me to go over our entire like thought process internally, or?
I understand. So you're on the left-hand side. What that means is that you are supposed to be choosing sides.
Yes.
So which side did you choose? Which side did you choose to ban in the end, or to
In the end,
play one less game of?
we decided to play all of our runner games, and we dropped a corp, which ended up being the Asmar. Actually, I might be wrong here. I might be wrong. It might have been that we put in two matchups and they dropped one of them. I'm not sure anymore. I remember like the Mercury Asmari matchup ended up being dropped. But this is all stuff that happened last week. I don't remember any of it.
Yeah. So okay. So it ended up being that. I mean, if it's Mercury versus Asmari that ended up being dropped, it surely was them that banned the Asmari, right? Which means you elected to play
Yes.
3 runners.
I think that's correct.
Okay.
Yes, that's exactly what happened. So we spent a very long time, basically all the way up until the deadline, like thinking about it, leaving space for like last minute ruminations, and then that's what we ended up going with. Actually, precisely because of one of the matchups here that we didn't want to drop.
You mean in this particular matchup?
Exactly.
I assume that means you want to be playing Hoshiko into PE.
That was the idea. Like Brandon took like 2 looks at the matchup. He was like, "I'm playing this." Like no way we're gonna let him drop that one. So
Yeah, fair. And I think on paper, I think it is like at the very least mildly favored to the king for both of these matchups, I would say.
Well, so the kid into AWP matchup is quite dangerous, actually. I believe. This is where I make that cool Wu Tang. I even wrote this down. Hold on, I'm
All right.
delighted to do it live, actually. This is for all my old school rap hip hop fans. Shaolin shadow dancing and the unbanned sword style. If what you say is true, QTM and tiebreakers could be dangerous. Do you think your unbanned sword
Oh.
style can defeat me? On God, I'll let you try my unbanned style. Anyways, yeah, no, this matchup is actually kind of scary because of the way the deck is built. It looks good, but there are many ways in which it could go very, very wrong, I think. And so really we're relying on Brandon being an amazing player. Like I got to play Bridgman's P against him at Worlds 2022, and I think he was the only person who beat me in Swiss actually there. Oh no, I also lost the very last round, but still, he's a very good pilot against P. So like that probably factors into it too.
Yeah. I think yeah, but I think the Hoshiko, the Mulch versus PE matchup doesn't interest me as much as the Kid versus Orb. And I'm not sure which one which matchup will be played first. So it's probably between the players to decide. But yeah, it's funny because we had this exact matchup in our own Fight Night round against Sepk and company, the Virginia Biotech. It was exactly the Spark of Inspiration kit versus Rush Op. And I think Op took that pretty cleanly, although I will say we had some absolutely horrible luck on the sparks. So Iron Fox played 2 Spark of Inspirations in that game, with a turbine in hand, and hit exactly nanotech and propeller.
Wow. I'm not sure I've ever resolved the spark of inspiration myself. So like I don't know if like is this like a deck building thing? Like do we even put, because here like we have a pretty elegant solution where like you have the Engolo and the lamb, I
Yeah,
suppose, and your kid. So it's just like you might hit the turbine once, but everything else is going to be able to break
exactly.
basically anything.
Yeah. So the original list was of course from Cable Carnage at UK Nationals.
All right. Yeah.
The Grub Brain Runner, which famously won Deck of the Week.
Yes.
Uh,
Hilarious write up.
yeah, one of the best ones of 2023, I will say. And of course, a well-deserved Deck of the Week. Yeah, and that was of course playing the 1 nanotech, 1 propeller, 3 Angolo. And I think Fox swapped it up for 2 Angolo, 1 Inversificator, which I can't really argue with. I think it's like fine. Season to taste, you know.
Oh yeah, I mean I'm on a surveyor deck, so like for me, like that's why I put in 1 thimble rig actually, because something like Inversificator would definitely F me up otherwise.
Oh, and I see the game is up, but Kika has
All
put
right.
Kika has put a password on it. Funnily enough, let me see if we can do something about that. Okay, so let's see. I mean, Niichan's girl isn't even in the lobby yet, so no worry about us missing anything. But
Oh,
yeah, so yeah. Anyway, Kit versus Op. I mean, both the King as well as Sebastian K and myself have been having certain conversations about this op, and I do. It really does come down to like how many Manigam Skunkers do you want to put in the deck? Sep K and I both mildly prefer 2 skunk, but what was I saying? But yeah, the King is a big fan of swapping the second skunk for like quality ice. In this case, would be Drafter and Magnet.
I can talk about the process here actually, because I distinctly remember the Managarm coming in pretty late into the whole process. I feel like it wasn't like I love this kind of op because this is like a beautifully hybridized, like you have these various like op types. This is like very loyal to Oaktown Renovation, which I'm
Oh
very
yeah.
open to, like, both Azif and Oaktown versions. We did actually lose against Court Gang's beautifully piloted Triple Azif Ob in the round before. But I can see both having their own appeal. Nonetheless, like here, I think the Managram is just another piece in the entire engine. It's not like a true like centerpiece of the strategy.
Of course. Okay. I believe Kikai has sent the lobby password in the match thread, so he'll grab that and you can jump in as well.
Perfect. That's a good password.
That's right. Hey, what's up, Bar? What's up, Aksu? YouTube multicast, working on it. Played the list of King last night, felt very strong. Yeah. I think Skunk Op is. I mean, this is a subjective opinion, of course, and I know like QTM specifically among others, would object various to NSD, but I do feel Old Town renovation is a ridiculous agenda.
Mm, 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 mm. It is, but the Azif has its own. Like, this is the mind of a Jinteki player, right? And the mind of a Jinteki player is like, what is the runner most afraid of? And like in the Azif matchup, like sometimes the runner is just gonna forget that you might be scoring an Azif to outright kill them, or like you're playing criminal and you've drawn one of your one-off breakers off of a class act, and then you get hit with random damage, value damage. Am I right? And you just lose your breaker, and you almost lose the entire game off of that. And there are things I like about Aziv. Plus the spin doctor trick off of like trashing a one cost ice or upgrade, and just grabbing a spin doctor off of the Aziv trigger, off of the slash and burn trigger, are just beautiful things you can do with it.
Hmm.
But
And speaking of random damage, it looks like we will be playing the PE matchup first. At least that's what Niichan's girl has queued into the lobby with. So we are ready to go.
ooh, so I can expound on my love for personal evolution. I know I'm supposed to be rooting for Unband, but there's a part of me that can't help but be like, I want to see a flatline happen.
Well, there are multiple imps in this Melch deck, so what was that you would like to say about Maw? Maw is like net damage for the core.
Ooh,
I mean, imp.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes. Maw is cute. That's what I'm gonna actually say. Maw is the cutest of all consoles. Just
Mm-hmm.
want to cuddle it up. And it's
I can,
also, yeah, it's virtually net damage.
yeah. I mean, imp is just targeted damage.
Hmm. Are you suggesting Imp is the second coming of Kronos Protocol?
I, I certainly hope not. Good grief.
You need a new runner. It's like first time Corp draws a card each turn, look at it, and you may trash it if you want.
You may trash it. All right, so here we go. Looks like both players have kept their openers. Niichan's girl leading with a Mindscaping on turn one.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Generally speaking, like Ice Mindscaping or Mindscaping Ice on Centrals is a pretty reasonable against Hoshiko. Like,
Especially since you're threatening a Vampire Res, which I think in these kinds of builds that just want to install a lot on a lot of cards, the draw is like very high value.
exactly,
That's
yeah.
even why we're playing 2 copies of Calvin Bailey. Interestingly, not playing a hedge fund in this deck. It has 3 Hansei and 3 Mindscaping, no hedge fund. I kind of agree with this.
All right. No hedge funds here. That's absolutely right. And I'm not sure if this deck list is changed from uh the the world's loud deck list that Pailu brought. Remains to be seen. So
Was the
the
Biotic
king.
Labor already in there?
Yes, so I believe there was one biotic label just for the blood in the water slash what's it? Longevity serum fast advance just to close the game. And it is very interesting because like the agenda suite in this deck makes like scoring patterns very difficult to predict for the runner. Like the
Oh yeah,
games.
I love that about it. A 1,000-pronged attack. Like you're just, there's so many angles and you're never secure from all of them. Old school PE enjoyers will remember bioticking out a philotic entanglement early
Oh
on, just
yes.
do 24/7 later on.
I remember. That's good stuff.
All right, we see them clicking for credits,
Yeah. This is
discarding
so
cards.
interesting actually. Install spin, draw, discard.
It's a patient play from both players right now, I feel. Also
Yeah.
the liberated account.
Although this probably benefits the king more so than Niichan's girl, considering
Absolutely.
the liberated account install, and we see challenging archives again, or well, more accurately challenging the spin doctor.
I
Do you
like this
think?
because both not getting the access, as in like accessing a card and getting an access, are both okay here, right? Like
Yeah.
this means that Hoshiko is going to flip down.
Yes.
Nice.
Although I'm not sure if it's more accurate to run archives over run the spin directly. What do you think? Because there is the chance where there is a chance where the face down isn't an agenda or isn't something worth shuffling back, and then you get
That's
you
true.
keep
That
flip.
kind of depends on if you want to commit to trashing the spin doctor
Yeah,
here, I
of
think.
course.
Because like it does, so this is again the mind of a Jinteki player. I could have left an agenda in there that I want to like moonpool Regenesis out. I'm just like, I'm not even gonna use the spin doctor, and I'm just gonna fool my opponent into thinking there's no agenda.
Now, hold up, we see two Steelskin Skyrens flipped off a price. I don't imagine.
Oh wow.
Okay, so the king is going to draw 4 cards off of this price. With only 2 clicks remaining and 8 cards in the grip, we'll definitely be
I think
discarding one
he's
of
also
these.
probably thinking about whether to install the second copy of Liberated. No, we see the revolver go down.
Revolver.
Good.
Mm-hmm. Like
Securing us against Anemone and Anansi, mostly for the Anansi, I
yes,
imagine.
not the most efficient breaker against Anansi, but it gets the job done, especially with this liberated account in the pocket. Definitely can afford to face check an Anansi at least once.
No, I founded a union that is like Anansi rights based. So like we've made sure, like next standard ban list update, we'll make sure that bypassing an Anansi, like you don't get to derez it before we get to do the net damage. There's no justice, right now. So this is about as efficient as you're allowed to get, in my opinion.
Right. So just pump twice into three bullets.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, click 3 is moshing. What are we moshing? Botulus, Cleaver, and the price. Oof.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Botulus will probably be quite efficient at dealing with a lot of ice here.
Mm. Mm. So obviously not as good into Jinteki as it is into something like for example, like HB Ice. Okay, so yeah, DJ families come down.
Ooh, all
Uh
right.
but what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so
That
so Jinteki Ice pretty like high subroutine count, so Botulus not as great here. And like a lot of it is already covered by Revolver, so I can see why the king would want to mosh it away.
that's kind
Uh,
of true, but you do get more turns usually against Jinteki than you would against some kind of HP rush deck. So like even just having it on Anansi and breaking Anansi for free every 3 turns is still quite reasonable, I think.
yeah.
Ooh, Moon Pool. What's happening here?
Oh, whoa!
Yeah.
This is a fast advance. Regen, Blood and War from up, and that's a.
Scoring House of Knives. Definitely a good way to get rid of a bunch of flooded agendas, especially when runner is telegraphing that they're very interested in running HQ next turn.
Exactly, and so of course the downside is down to only 5 credits. Uh, but Saisentan is still alive. Of course, Revolver deals with that, reasonably efficiently. But uh, I I think looking at the ice in this deck, data loop. Oh, there is not even Saisentan. Just Anansi, Anemone, Vampy, Tatubolo, and data loop. So outside of the one Tatubola, there's nothing that stops the king from running HU next turn and getting this thief value. Of course, yeah, as Bar points out, the net damage from the House of Knives did hit Nopkiri, which is pretty annoying.
Mm-hmm. I love damage on every score and every steal. It's just so elegant. Delicious.
I can see why you
All right.
decided to commentate this game.
Mhm. And we see
Oh,
an anemone being rezzed. This deck notoriously does not run snare, and runner
yes,
could imp a sting that they end up accessing. So I think, in theory at least, continuing is safe. Oh,
is
wait, wait, wait. Is this the game? No, no, never
This
mind.
no, this can't be the game, right? Yeah. So House of
No.
Knives. Yes. I mean, you surely grab one of your two steel skins here.
Hmm. Oh yeah, that would be pretty good.
So okay, approaching
Yes, that
HQ,
insulates you against a lot of things. Virus.
and there
Ooh,
we go.
that's pretty rough. I love the ability to filter your hand with anemone. Like it's just, like especially in this kind of situation, like you can perfectly control what they're going to access.
Sure. Yeah. And with the knob in the bin, it's the first of I believe only two knobs in this list. It's going to be quite some time before the king can find a way to recharge this imp. You need to find your second knob or a simul chip and go back
Personally,
into.
I like a draw here as last click because otherwise you're essentially giving the corp the ability to fast, or even playing a steel skin because like anything else gives the corp the ability to fast advance out the blood in the water.
Hmm. Yes. Yeah. So steel skin here is so if drawing still opens you up to install advance top deck blood and water. But here we
Yes,
go. Niichan's
but
go.
at that point the corp is fully broke, which might be kind of okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, then you can just go back R&D or something. Of course, the main econ engine in this deck is a Prana condenser, which we haven't seen
Lovely
any of.
card.
Yeah.
Yes,
No
I've been
assets
doing a lot of
installed this
yoga
game.
recently. I've been condensing my prana a lot. It's been feeling pretty good.
Ah. And how's that been going for you? Any flatlines recently?
No, I'm still storing it up. At this point, I'm probably up to like 6 or 7 counters. I'm waiting on 9.
So you can you can flatline and Andromeda on start of game or something. You need 10 for that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, but the king going back in, Botulus on this anemone. Not the most efficient use of a Botulus, but if it saves you 2 credits every time and your revolver counters, especially
So
with Nichan's girl at this kind of econ situation.
I'm curious about the simul chip for imp pop here. Like Niichan's Go going up to 5 credits slightly telegraphs potentially an economic operation in HQ that may be worth getting rid of.
Hmm,
Um,
definitely considering it. Uh,
mhm.
but no, looks like no pop on the chip. Just gonna
All
fetch.
right.
It's a moon pool. Okay, the price is the fetch from Steve.
Mm-hmm.
Moon pool is the excess, so no trash on that. Is there anything else going on with this? Yeah, so nothing. That was the last click. That was the last click, right?
Yeah. I'm also checking how many. So there's one copy of my virus, which is now known in the bin. So it's not something we have to play around going forward. Let's draw credits.
Up to 7 credits. So Vampire NASA is back to life.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so yeah, of course. So if the Botulus is 2 credit install that saves you 2 credits a turn, it's basically a chess V that lets you run HQ. When you think about it.
I don't know. Would you rather drink a botulus or a Shesve, personally?
I like to drink some of this very refreshing coconut water. Thank you for reminding me to stay hydrated.
Oh yes, stay hydrated.
Yes. Whoa. Okay. So here comes the Samojet pack.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So this is
eventually
this was a click
Hoshiko
3 run
will
with
Mhm.
with one of the liberated accounts being empty.
Oh yeah. I think it's partially also a knowledge of like the non-existence of snare, meaning that anything bad that can happen to you on the axis will usually be able to be imped.
Hmm. Okay, and we see the
And
moon pool again, and we will imp the moon pool. Of course, trashing with
Mhm.
credits would take into exactly not enough to install the liberator again. So I imagine we will see this liberator install. No, it's another summon chip. Okay.
it's a similar thing to like installing running last click and installing liberated last click. Like in professional netrunner play, we don't like doing either, I think, just because in some instances, it can really open up a scoring window. Here, it doesn't even seem that dangerous, but
Yeah. So
um,
draw, hunts in view,
mhm.
down to up to 12 credits, still only on 3 cards in HQ. And yes, of course, so this Botulus getting going on 3 turns of value at this point, so well worth the install.
But Niichan's girl is definitely in a position where if she draws an ice, she can very easily put another piece on HQ.
Yes, and then of course, at that point, you need to pivot to some other strategy or
Yes.
find
For
some other
now,
angle
though,
of
like
attack.
this DJ Steve particularly is generating an incredible amount of value. Like
Mm.
I do not like being in these kinds of positions in such a techy deck usually. But that's why I play Sadaka, right? I'm like, no, you don't get to keep your DJ Fenris.
Mm, for sure. But as I recall, no way to trash resources in this PE deck. Not even like
Mhm.
not even the opportunity to, let's say, um, uh, fire a snare and trash resources with the tag if they don't clear it. But
Well,
okay, click.
Jai, actually, there are about 40 different ways to trash resources out of hand in this deck.
Oh, okay, price installing cookbook
All
over
right.
Buzzsaw, Paladin, and Conduit. Cookbook with the
Very
Sunwatch chip in
important
play.
engine piece.
Extremely threatening. Of note, the second Nockery hasn't shown up yet, and I believe that's probably that's what the king wants to be digging towards eventually.
Yeah.
But for
I think
now,
it's the
uh,
both the second piece of knob curry and the buffer drive are very, very important engine pieces that I think are going to generate a lot of value as soon as they are found.
hmm,
Because of the additional copy of Liberated account, like also sitting back and clicking for some money is probably okay. But at some point, like yeah, the more ice comes down, the harder it will become to get in. Like I'm not sure how much you want to be using Audrey here, especially before you find your buffer drive.
yeah, for sure. Uh, and there we go. A Botulus back to hand. A Sting from
And
HQ. Okay,
there,
so
ah,
do
such a
you
beautiful agenda.
do you imp this?
It depends on what's in hand a little bit, I think. But in general, it's probably a good imp target.
Hmm.
Because not
Uh,
having stolen one of them is also quite good in the long term.
that's true. Okay,
Because
so
each consecutive sting is just more and more deadly. So like if you already have two in your score area, then like having one
yes.
scored on you can be absolutely lethal.
Yeah, so and of course we see one spin and one moon pool down and another moon pool trashed. So Sting is likely gonna stay there for the foreseeable future.
Mm-hmm. Very true. One thing to point out is Moonpool can actually not shuffle face up agendas. So if you imp one, it is safe from being moonpooled.
Yeah. Oh, D, what's up, D? Good. Says great place for last click lip.
Hello.
Well, it would if there were credits for last click lip, which there
Are
currently
there? You
no
could
no.
click for a credit
Yeah, you
and
can credit. You can credit lip.
it
You can
seems
credit lip.
good.
Yeah,
And then you
yeah.
save on the Hoshiko start of turn
That's
trigger as
right. So
well.
it's like you
I
clicked
like
for
it.
it's like you clicked for 2 credits. Ooh, a labor rights. Okay, that's
All
interesting.
right. So I don't think we're getting these Lagos back, right? Like this is not a matchup where you want your grinder cards to come out.
Yeah, we will grab 2 credits from this strike fund, which is very nice. So,
Mhm.
what's the shuffle? You want what? Your chip, your steel skin, and not something like that.
Mhm.
Maybe a strike fund.
That's what I'm wondering about. I don't know how to pilot the deck well enough to know whether or not shuffling the strike fund back is correct. It seems like we're getting the paladin actually.
Paladin. That's very interesting. All right.
Mhm.
So not steel
So
skin
really
paladin.
setting ourselves up for a very long-term kind of game, I think.
Yes. And of course, so that's strike fund trash allowed the king to install last click lip anyway. That's perfectly
Right.
calculated.
Wonderful. Ooh, we see a Calvin. All right.
Okay.
Healing the P deck's much needed draw and another install.
Now the question is, if you're the king, do you go and trash this Calvin? I might be inclined to do so, actually.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. If you have the money or the means, I personally I'm a fan of trashing the Calvin, I think. But the other question is, do you deal with the other face down card that's just been put down?
That's a very good question. I don't think anything in this list costs more than 4 to trash. So yes, you can click lip and run the other remote. So maybe this is like a prana, something to that effect. It is a prana contest. So
exactly.
No action. So no risk plus fire on the House of Knives. Niichan's guild probably doesn't need the credits at this point anyway. On 12 with basically nothing relevant to res. So thinking about this trash, I guess, wouldn't you? This looks like a perfectly cromulent trash. There we go. Trashing with liberated money.
Cromulent. This whole deck is so tasty. Wonderful. Ooh, and we do not see Calvin being trashed. I think that makes sense though, because you also need to be developing your own board here.
Yeah, and I mean this is a great time to be putting down a fermenter. Click 1 Calvin, drawing 2 cards. Oh yes, D was on the most recent QTM podcast. I did listen to that earlier today. Excellent analysis on both the Lu and the Grudge. I greatly enjoyed it.
Cool. I'll have to go check that out. Yeah. D, I guess you're listening. I still stand by what I said. Like, you're very high on my list of people that could win this coming year's World Championship. I'm looking forward to that.
You heard it here first. Right, so
okay, we have all the money. Where is the ice?
Where is this ice? Okay, so I mean with 19 credits, 19 credits on each other, surely you go trash this Calvin Bailey now, right? With a fermenter taking still 8 credits on this lip.
The one reason for hesitancy perhaps is that like you're really looking to just get your Nokiri imp engine online to discount all of these trashes. But it's kind of true, like every turn this Bailey is like active, that essentially gains the corp an extra click.
Yeah. So if you there we go, there's the
here
knob.
it is.
Oh, that was a fermented trash for knob, not the liberated account. That's interesting.
I agree. Ooh, but if you want to trigger a simul chip, that does make sense. Okay, so we're getting the whole family together. Audrey coming in.
Yeah, the entire...
So feed me, PE.
Okay, so the choice is to go HQ instead, which is fair enough. Basically, I guess the mindset is you can draw the cards you want with Kelvin. It's still going to cost you clicks. And it's just drawing to more agendas for me to imp away. Is that the idea?
Yeah, the real strategic question for me here is runner at any point interested in stealing agendas? Ooh, this is the one reason why you maybe don't trash the Calvin. Corp could just have a second copy. Yeah. Are you even stealing agendas here? Or are you just like smacking everything you see into the bin?
I think it depends on how fast Niichan's guild can actually set up a board, because right now we're still in that phase of the game where Jindeki is trying to set up remotes and such to present some kind of scoring or flatline combination to the runner.
Right. It's a very controlled board at the moment. Like this Calvin has been like ducking underneath the horrible wrath of Hoshiko.
So
it's not the kind of game PE really wants to be playing. Right?
Exactly.
A couple of remotes.
Yeah, so I mean the term I would use is, you know, that the PE is still stuck in deployment. You're still stuck in your centrals and still trying to unpack onto the board. And we still, I mean, there have been attempts. We see this Calvin, this Prana, but with their not imp engine coming out already, it gets extremely tricky. Okay, second spin doctor. You can
All
rescue that.
right.
You can rescue that sting prop potentially.
Mhm.
And I suppose the silver lining for Niichan's girl is that the king, as of yet, hasn't found this buffer drive, which he is
True.
playing buffer drive,
Very
right?
true. But the Steve presents a similar longevity proposition that as soon as you make HQ taxing enough, becomes less of an issue, but it's still like adding incrementally like more and more cards
Yeah,
back into the hit point like pool for this Hoshiko.
yeah, and it is a
So
bit
that's still true.
unfortunate. It is a bit unfortunate with all this Calvin Bailey draw and the spin doctor draw. Niichan's girl still hasn't found any ice to stack on HQ
Precisely.
with.
I'm waiting for those Anansis. Where are they? Show me Anansi.
Turn 9 and still no
Or
remote inside. Yeah, exactly, yeah. So, and nice to have you around, of course. Okay,
oh
click
yeah,
one lip, click one lip, click to run spin. Uh,
all
of
right.
course, credit count on the king not incredible, but you know, workable enough with what he's got
Yes, the
going.
moon pool is still in archives, which I believe is the only way this deck can fast bounce Regenesis and still obtain a Regenesis trigger.
That is correct. Oh, so wage workers. All right, so wage workers is going. And now the imp being empty indicates you probably won't be seeing a HQ run this turn, which is some amount of comfort for Niichan's girl.
Right.
You
Yeah,
can probably
because also like imagine if like Niichan's gonna manage to score a Regenesis into Fuji on this board, and suddenly runner is like, wait, they got 5 points.
5 points.
I'm in
Yeah.
trouble, and then like it's just one blood in the water, and then kabam, game's over.
Mm. Mm. Yeah. But
But
if you find some other draw, like draw source with this mandatory draw plus this Kelvin, if you find a ice here, you stack HQ. Maybe you trash this anemone because it's kind of just taking up space at this point. The only thing this anemone is costing is like 1 MU.
well, it's costing a dedicated Botulus, which could otherwise get moved somewhere else. Although I suppose runner no currently does not have another Botulus in the bin. So like it's tenuous. I suppose it depends on how much your ice is going to cost you to res. But immediately I do not dislike it that much.
Right.
Hard to say though. Okay,
Uh,
double install.
yeah, double install. I mean,
How many
forcing.
agendas? How many agendas on the board? What do you think?
I mean, that's an excellent question. So there was one face down and one sting shuffled back already. Um, the implication is that there there can't be face down agendas in archives that are more valuable than Sting, because Sting is like the one agenda you're okay to feed to the runner, right? So
Yeah,
Prana,
did you just reveal Tiebreaker's secret mulch list? The implication? Very good. Ooh, double prana condenser.
the implication. Excuse me. I'll have you know that my personal mouse list has only one imp in it, and I will stand by that. I will die on that hill.
Fascinating.
But okay, wait, this is a double prana install with I believe one in the bin already. Oops, one in the bin already. Yeah, that's one in the bin. And curiously, not even a imp on the second prana. Very interesting. Just
Yeah,
installing liberated account.
it
Uh,
feels a bit like these pranas because like P has drawn its economic operations. Like your economy is already up and running. You don't have something like a beautiful, beautiful warrior tracker to make the plan like particularly threatening. So I can see why they wouldn't be like extremely high value trashes at the present moment.
Sure, sure. But I imagine like even with the second access, surely you just take your one imp trash per turn. But maybe you want to save the imp for next turn, and so you get to knob something else is the consideration.
Yeah, perhaps. Um, hmm. I have full faith in Brandon to find the right lines and
Oh.
dismantling any personal evolution, as much as it pains my heart to say.
Yeah. So
All
so
right.
Niichan's go considering the options here.
Mhm.
I mean, so finally, uh, oh,
Ooh,
biotic labor. Ooh, okay. What is
let's
happening
go.
here? So there is no
It could be
no
a
clock
second House of
access.
Knives. No, it's a
It's
sting. Okay.
interesting. Interesting.
So probably considering the prana here as well, but I do agree you don't immediately need it. I'm still thinking like where is the ice?
Yeah, where is all this? We haven't seen any of it.
No,
It's crazy actually.
strange. It's not like it's getting imped either. Like I don't
Yeah,
think we've
it's
seen
just not.
any.
Yeah, we haven't seen any ice. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, four face downs. Maybe we've been discarding ice. Uh, just
Hmm.
just like consider in the consideration that with this Audrey and this revolver, it doesn't really matter.
Perhaps, but you're still happy to like tax cards out of the Audrey, I feel. So like until the leech gets to like really high um counters, you're gonna get something out of them.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, so the king clicking this liberated. This is the third liberated account this game, I believe. Or is it the fourth?
Hmm.
I think it's the third because one was discarded to damage.
Um, yes, you are correct. This is the third liberated accounts so far.
Hmm.
But I don't think we'll need more than this one. We'll see. So another imp counter.
On the yeah, so the not on the imp, so up to two counters.
Mhm.
Uh, and fermenter. Okay,
Vigilant
Rashida.
for fermenter.
I mean, you trash this with money and go back, surely.
Yes, and now imagine if this botulus had never hit the anemone, and you just have to keep breaking it.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely more than paid for itself at this point.
Mhm.
And here we go again. It's a vampire. And
And
oh,
there
that's a
is the ice.
finally,
So
huh?
we made a executive choice to score the sting last turn, and this really hurts. Like losing this vampire nasa is big in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Uh, okay, and this fermenter install that we've seen already.
Mhm.
Yeah, so probably between this fermenter and this liberated account, we won't need any more econ this game on the runner side. Now basically all you want to do is find your buffer drive, I think, and you're good to go.
Yes, that would be very funny if the buffer drive were like the last card in the deck.
It happens. It happens.
Oh, absolutely. But even then, like we still have 17 plus whatever the DJ Fenris scrounges up, right? Like
Yeah,
it's not
exactly.
like we're yeah. I wonder if we're gonna see a second imp hit the board personally, just to accelerate the trashing, or if that makes the purge just too appetizing.
Mm, I think your purge recovery on this board is pretty straightforward because like you will have a whole bunch of credits on tap to go and trash things and knock your imp back and imp your Audrey back, etc., etc. So I don't imagine that that's on Niichan's girl's agenda right now. But I am curious as to what the game plan is. You have this sting. Uh, you have this sting scored, so future stings stolen will be problematic to steal. But I don't. There's one virus which is already in archive, so there's no chance for an instant speed purge on
I want to tell you what
sting
I want to see
approach.
here, which is like Fuji and Sting installed, and like you use the House of Knives on like both runs, and you just deal like a lot of damage on this because they can't
Exactly.
imp
Exactly.
both in theory at least.
Yes. So it's a Kelvin Bailey install, fair enough. And Nichan's gonna say this is a very stressful game.
Yes, it always tends to get that way with PE. I feel like the games just feel more personal. It's in the name, I suppose, but
It is.
it's high pressure on both sides.
It is what you sign up for sure. Okay, so what do we have here? So running a fresh install, 1 credit, a Prana. Prana rest. Okay.
And
Interesting.
Axis.
We still have this imp counter. So curious about this Prana res because the king surely with 3 clicks remaining is representing the ability to just click a liberated or click a fermenter and run back the Prana. So I wonder what the breakpoint is.
This Regenesis is very tempting here, though. Like just
yes,
not imping it, right? And that makes the Prana like make a bit more sense if like that is the way you want to go.
For sure. And you do preserve your imp counter for the second run back this turn. Prana on 2, but again not an issue as long as Kikai keeps a click or the king keeps a click for to run it back. House of Knives, okay. So you probably steal this.
I could see either being good. I could see imping this being good and just like taking money with liberated say and just going and trashing the
trashing with credits.
But it would allow for one more Prana trigger, which okay, but we do see the steal. Cool. Well, that makes sense as well.
Not preventing damage here. Interesting. So now you go on this Prana, surely. There we go. And you imp this, and you probably last click draw if nothing else is happening. Or you could just click your liberated if you think you're in no danger of dying.
Both lines seem very sensible to me. And one thing to watch out for is like Hoshiko is like after Axis is always forced to draw. So like you do kind of run a higher risk of decking yourself just by virtue of like not being able to control your draw as much. Now buffer drive mitigates like most of those aspects. So it's again, provided the buffer drive is not at the very, very end, it's not the biggest of deals in this particular matchup, I suppose.
Yeah. Oh, we go Kelvin in to spin. That's a lot of card draw.
Yes. And it's a very decisive kind of spin use here, I feel. Like what you end up recurring, since this is your last use, like your choice of whether you want another go at the biotic or the moon pool, or even just getting back in my virus to res at a later point.
I feel like getting back at least the moon pool, even if not the biotic, is like the best way that Niichan skill has to force the issue this game. Because you look at these like five face downs in archives, that the king isn't obligated to check at all, and R&D is perilously low at this point, right? Because you can just pivot to mill the cop strategy, and that's
Right,
maybe
and
why.
I like that a lot because a moon pool. So one of the two regences is already accounted for, but a moon pool would still, provided there are sufficient agendas and archives, would in theory allow you to just like swoopity boop out 4 points in one turn.
Hmm,
And
exactly.
then, so maybe it's both, because then like you could score the last point using biotic labor.
Yeah, so that's uh, ideally the plan. You moon pool regen Fuji, and then okay, so Tattoo Ball swap, so you know whether there's Tattoo Ball on HQ. Excellent. And two
Mhm.
unseen cards. All right, so we can confirm that there's no more access to fast advance this game for Nichan's
Mhm.
girl. So
Well,
the
apart from blood in the water.
oh, that is fair enough. Fair enough. Oh no, I take that back also because there is longevity serum.
Oh yeah. Oh, true. Although it does at the moment kind of feel like every card that gets installed into a remote server is getting checked. So like sneaking the longevity out is gonna be a bit tricky.
Hmm. Yeah, it probably involves having to purge at some point. You need to purge and create
Mhm.
some like a window big enough that you can like maybe use your credit total and put some ice down and res it uh
Mm.
to force a longevity serum through. Tattoo bolos the access
Wh-
as is tradition.
I was gonna say, this always happens. I
This
feel like
always
swap
freaking
it back,
happens.
but it's not gonna happen anymore. Tatubola has just been imped.
Yeah, that is correct. And it's the only tattoo bowler in the list. This is the second ice that's gotten imp this game. After the Vampy, of course, and the twinning. All right, so this is the King's secret sauce in this
Yes,
version of
this is our
Notch.
special include for this deck.
Yeah,
Particularly good at clearing out HQ, actually.
that is very true. Of course, you would still need to find a paladin to start rolling it, which does explain the paladin shuffle back with the earlier labor rights. It all makes sense in context now.
Precisely. Plans within plans. But I also think this is, and again, this is probably what makes the king like a very good PE player. Is like you always need to keep the long game in mind, while also not,
Not not dying in the
dying. So
immediate.
like, exactly, exactly.
But a triple install here.
Hmm.
We've seen one wage workers already, I believe. So is there more? There's two wage workers, one more in the list. Nine. S9 is Prana, the last Prana, and all these cards are unknown.
Yeah. It's interesting too. Like just before we saw Tattoo being broken for one leech counter, one other egg counter, but at the moment you only have three leech counters, so you could not actually do that to Vampire Nasa without getting another non-archives central access because archives currently houses a virus.
That's correct. Mm, so I'm just thinking what's server 13 ice. Maybe it's like second anemone and that like a second anemone into like multiple net damage sources in 13, 14, 15. I is what I can see in terms of actually posing some kind of existential threat.
Hmm. It would be funny if it were something like a Daniela in there, and you get to it and you just don't really want to deal with it at all.
Hmm. Okay, but it is Nancy and not another enemy. So this probably
Right.
gets it depends. You probably want to keep your six cards, so you just leech revolve it. I mean, you have installed this revolver since turn one for a reason.
Yeah. I think that's reasonable. And then like again, like now you could even if you wanted to plonk down like Botulus on that Anansi just to make future runs easier if you want to.
Hmm. Oh, and I guess annoyingly enough, it's you can't uh, break this revolver for free. Oh, and we're not even leeching it. We just pay all 4 credits.
Yeah, that's it's really hard to say right now how you want to use your leech counters. I feel like even like leeching twice and discarding the 1 card to Audrey was kind of a tempting proposition. I
Oh
feel.
yeah, for sure. I mean, there are multiple ways that the king could have done it.
Yeah.
Now going to 0 kind of forces a it's a kind of committal in terms of uh what you want to like how you want to
And we
deal with
see
this.
Audrey being used anyways to
Right.
just gain strike fund money.
Hmm.
And we
Okay.
see that shit all works out. It all
All
works
works out.
out somehow.
Minor inefficiency, but not punished.
Yeah. But was it inefficient or was it calculated? You know, I don't know.
Who can
There's
say really?
yeah, this is next level play, you know, this surpasses even my knowledge of the matchup. So do you go for the other cards now?
I mean, I think with this imp still active for this turn, you definitely check one of these. So here we go, running 15 on click 3. It's a regolith.
Finding the regolith.
I'm surely you trash with creds and go 14 now.
That sounds very good to me. I agree.
Or leaving it is
Mhm.
fine as well. Leaving it
Alright.
is fine. Creds not really that important. Is the evaluation. And here we go, 14. There is a world where Niichan skill resists this prana. Okay, nothing. Regenesis. Ooh. I mean, you just imp it to be perfectly safe. I mean,
I like imping it myself, but we'll see what happens.
oh,
It depends on like how we want to play the end game here as well. And we see it being imped.
it is imped. All right. So 9 is prana, 15 is regolith, and the draw. Calvin Bailey has been have been used like 6 times this game already. That's a lot of activations. Or whatever the number
Now
that
it's
was, you
starting to
just
get a bit dangerous. Like,
exactly.
unless you manage to, again, like, this is like the dream line, I think. Like, sneak out the longevity, get just enough cards back into R&D to win the game, and then just fast advance out the remaining points.
Yes. But now the thing is, there's no way to fast advance a longevity from the current cards that Niichan skill has available. So you need to
Yes.
sneak it out. So technically, all the king has to do is check the board every turn. Is that is my read here correct? You just check the board every turn.
But like, well, the Anansi becomes quite taxing after a while, especially if you manage to plant another taxing piece of ice in front of it. And then you could do something cool, like just put a Daniela in there 1 turn, and then like runner is like, well, do I want to trash this? Do I not want to trash this? And then you might have the longevity with a Daniela in the same server, and like all of that at least increments to something that is a little troublesome to deal with.
Fair enough. Yeah, there is some critical mass effects which Nishan skill still has access to generate some kind of threat, and that's what you have to play around currently. So down to 14 HP on the king. Still haven't found this damn paladin comes down, which is nice for the twinning. I was gonna say this damn what's it called?
Yeah.
Buffer drive.
Buffer drive. Do you think we're gonna see another liberated accounts?
Surely. I mean, surely not. I kind of feel it's a little unnecessary at this point.
I don't know. I'm not sure what else you're getting back here from.
I mean, I think you want to get a strike fund.
Oh yeah, yeah. That would also be a good get. You're right.
So mobbing the imp, of course, and contemplating. Oh, wow! It is the 4th liberated account. Damn.
It is the fourth liberated and the second Vampire Nasa that is being lost to Imp. That is rough.
Yeah.
And yeah, Brandon doesn't play around. He's just like, I'm gonna take the slow and steady and reliable line to victory, which apparently happens to involve liberated accounts. But the game's not over yet.
Oh, for sure. Probably, if I had to venture a guess, probably won't be installing this liberated this turn, just waiting for the Paladin to tick up so you get a twinning counter. And there we go.
Yes. There's still one more labor rights unaccounted for as well, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, but here we go. This is at
Finally
least threatening a
Yeah,
scar.
exactly. We see this push now, and I mean, if I have to guess, it's the Daniela into. I mean, who knows what the genders is? Yeah, it could be the other loop. Yeah, but I have to imagine that this is like the longevity serum. I think this might be Niichan Skill's last play, if anything.
Data loop. The first time you trash an installed corp card each turn, remove one tag, draw a card, gain a credit, and remove NBN from the game.
Oh, is that what ChatGPT told you?
No, this is the new Anarch identity that we haven't
Oh shit!
yet.
Oh my god! Spoilers on stream. We got the scoops.
It's data loop.
Lib 2 scoops coming early this season. But okay. So Brandon thinking a bit on this play. So I mean, in theory, you always have enough resources to get into this remote. Okay. So go click one, install fermenter, getting a twinning counter. Now, do you run this remote is the question, because
I'm
this
almost
fermenter.
interested in running HQ first to get a 5th leech counter and running R&D. Right, because like at exactly 13 credits, like resing 2 7-cost pieces of ice becomes a little bit tricky.
Yeah.
This could backfire if this is actually something like an anemone that now gets res and makes running the remote just that much more difficult. But no, we do see the Vampire Nasa.
What's up, gang? Oh yeah, it's not looking great for Niichan's Skill, but yes, there is, like, I believe, one more play left in the tank, and it remains to be seen how the king will respond to it.
There's also an element of like needing to play both games. So like this having turned into a battle of stamina as well. Like whoever is less tired for the second game. How are we breaking this Vampiro Nasa though?
I mean, would you use all 4 leech counters here? I think I would be inclined to.
Yeah. The only other line is like recurring your boss saw and only using one counter.
I think all 4 leech counters. I mean, you might also weaponize your Audrey. That this thing has 9 virus counters on it. You might as well use some of them, right?
Oh yeah, that's true.
Okay, but you're using one card. That's fair enough. So breaking all. Do we twinning this is the question. We leech.
Interesting.
We knock the imp. All right. And we
roll
twinning
it.
Okay.
All right. Maybe looking for a trashable.
Or anything is trashable, in theory.
Yeah, yeah, but if you, because like at this point, like Corp has so few cards left in the deck that like maybe you just try to run it out of cards entirely here.
Yeah, we see a Sting trash.
Sting,
yeah,
which
relevant.
is basically necessary, I think. But like stealing a Fuji now would be like, maybe it's okay. Maybe you just run archives after that. Okay. But accessing a second card and not choosing to do anything with it.
So running 13 right now to try and get that this alleged longevity is a play, but if it's Daniela Fuji, it could get really spicy, and I'm not sure I want to be making the decision. especially
it could be like Anemone, Daniela. Yeah, it could get a bit dicey.
yeah.
But at the same time, like permitting a longevity score is like one of the very few ways for this game to suddenly become like not as favored as it currently is.
Exactly.
But we have chosen to take that risk.
Oh, you know what? I might have been tempted to run this like at this credit total. Maybe you run the last prana. Was that a consideration?
Oh, maybe, but I think like since the regolith is still up, like Corp actually has decent ways of making money, and we see that here, clicking
Yeah, fair
back up
enough.
to 12. One line I had not thought about on that turn is like, what if you clear out HQ, and then like the Corp cannot activate Anemone?
That is true. That is very true. Is there any chance it's regen? Yes. So there is one regen in archives already. So one regen, one sting, 2 points.
Yeah, and this deck only has 2 Regenesis, one of which being in the runner score area. So server 13 can currently not be a Regenesis, I believe.
Oh, and okay, we are going for it. It is a conduit install, and here we go. Uh, we have enough cards uh, to break Vampy like at least twice this turn. But
I
so yes,
suppose the king might be looking for a Fuji to just close out the game.
yeah. So
with
in
2
any
points
Fuji is the
in
game
archives.
exactly. And this will be a 4-card access if you knock the conduit and pop your twinning counter. So 4 out of the 6 cards left. I mean, odds of hitting agendas are pretty damn high right now.
This is justice for snare, you know. Like imagine if we had some snare sitting in R&D right here.
I mean, Snare is a dirty card, but you know, it it it,
It's
it,
so it's so essential to the Netrunner experience,
it's
though.
as much as the Netrunner intellectual elite, myself included, like to dunk on the card. It is necessary evil sometimes. But
Hey,
okay,
you
so
chose to include it in your version of the punitive deck as well.
that is true. That is true. Yeah. So yeah, no Snare deck. Yeah, yeah. We're just riffing uh, on the snare or the lack thereof. I'm not a fan of the card myself, but it would be pretty hype here. Oh, Sting for 2 depth.
Ooh.
That's
Oh wow.
wait, that's interesting. There was uh
Emphasis
no
on the sting.
no imp on the card, which is interesting, and we imp the last card, which is a Hokusai Grid. That's
Yeah. Wow. Okay. I yeah. Huh. Fascinating. Well, all right.
QTM are a refined bunch who would never try to murder. Okay, that completely explains why you brought Grudgerock to CBI. Okay, explains everything.
Yeah. The real danger here is like this P is down to 3 cards in the deck. I'm pretty sure Calvin is a May trigger, right? Yeah, you may draw 2 cards. Whew.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So
It's not
it's not
game
going to end
losing.
by yeah.
Okay, so this server
Still,
13, surely it can't be. Surely it's not the longevity serum. Could it be?
it is looking as though it weren't, but we can hope. And like this particular instance starts to make the sting steel make a tiny bit more sense to me because this maximizes the amount of cards the corporation loses out of the deck.
All
Although I
right.
suppose we could have trashed the Hokusai for credits as well.
Hmm. Although you wouldn't know that the bottom card was trashable with credits, of course. No way to find it out.
That's also true, yeah. And you could guarantee that the bottom card would be trashable by an imp no matter what.
Hmm. So Conduit will see all cards in R&D at this point.
Mm-hmm. But there are 2 fresh installs. And the Moonpool, no, the Moonpool is still in
Yeah,
archives. Oh,
Moonpool is gone.
okay.
Running HQ first. Okay, interesting. What are we getting back with DJ? I assume this is the purpose. Not much that I can see. Simul chip, I suppose.
Maybe. It depends on if you're okay with having less access to simulchip with eventual labor rights.
I mean, possible, but I don't really see.
But you are correct. It is the simulchip.
Anansi is the access. Don't imp this, I don't think, if you want to go R&D this turn. Oh, you do imp it. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So chip is the install, and botulus this. I mean, this botulus putting in so much overtime this game. Now, do you chip the in? No. Okay. But you will twinning
Hanse
and Fuji.
and
All
it is a
right.
Fuji.
Okay, so you take 3 damage off of this, and this is probably the game because there's no way to.
I believe there is a strictly winning line on the board now. Yes.
When
still,
we call it run archives, isn't that right?
I believe so. And even a steel skin, just to insulate yourself.
Yeah. And there we go. Yeah. So no way left in the deck for Niichan's girl to instant speed shuffle anything back. So Prana, okay, the spike Prana, I dig it.
The moral victory.
That's right. I mean, you get, oh my gosh, that's another Fuji. Yeah, and there we go. So and steals the Regenesis, and GG. That's it. That was another 4 points in archives between the Sting and the Fuji. Yeah. And that's it. 60-minute game. This is a little bit of a barn runner, but it's a little bit expected from Notch vs PE. Tends to go long with two kind of HP based decks. The King says tough game. Oh yeah, I think everyone involved would agree with that. God, I love Liberator Count. Okay, yeah, that's definitely valid. And we, in fact, we didn't even see the buffer draft this game. Right, it's nowhere to be found. It's like in one of these 5 cards.
It may, in fact,
it
may, was the last 3 cards apparently.
Yes, the last 3 cards for sure.
Asking the most important question: are we taking a break? No break. Ooh,
no, we keep going. Keep trucking.
Back in the ringer. Let's go for round 2.
Let's go.
I didn't hear no bell. All right, fantastic. I will, however, step away very briefly to stay hydrated, so I'll be back in 2 minutes.
I can totally get on board with that. Grug gonna grub. Oh yeah, I mean, I think the I guess I should probably hide the lobby password. There we go. Yeah, Grug was it? Yeah, Grug gonna Grug, and I think this is a much more interesting matchup. I think I feel like the op is mildly favored just because of Spark of Inspiration variants, but it can easily go either way. That's just my distinctly non-professional opinion. But on the other hand, this is a AMT winning deck, so we'll find out. We'll find out what happens. Fully justified by Virus Hoshiko versus the King's P deck last year. They went to a 65-minute game 1 draw. That's
That's
not.
nothing. There was a German nationals cut game where we had a 1-0 timed win with a CTM list against, I believe, both Hoshiko.
Good grief. I mean, but
It's pretty.
it is a CTM thing, and that coincidentally is also a The King special. You know, Brandon.
Controlling the bladder. Oh yes,
Yes,
strong day.
I absolutely love that deck name. It's one of my favorites. Bladder control. Oh, did we see a double install and the ice on top on server?
Yeah, this is a very aggressive opening, but we did see a keep, which did they take a long
Yes.
time? I
I wasn't aware of how long it took for them
Yeah.
to make
Ooh,
their.
legwork. Okay, okay.
Okay.
Aggressive lines from both players. Oh, ooh,
Action after gamble. That's very interesting.
yeah. Okay,
Okay.
okay.
Action after
It,
gamble. That's a very interesting. Okay, so Mavaris. That's very fair.
yeah, yeah. No,
Uh
this is the expected action, and okay.
oh, but Thimbrick on
Ice on
R&D.
R&D.
Okay,
And
that's.
this may actually cause a reconsider. No, still legworking. All right.
Oh, this is a fascinating line actually.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, it's very much what the Mavirus can do. Ooh, Brandon saying holy
holy
smokes.
smokes! Audacity Staffcast
Audacity
spin.
stuff, cause Spin Doctor.
I trash the spin. Okay, trash the spin. All right, very
Makes
interesting.
sense.
Now, I
Still a
wonder
high
what
value trash here. Mhm.
I wonder what the
Go ahead.
consideration is for this thimble rig, like on specifically R&D.
I think specifically because like this runner deck is so perched upon like generating a large amount of accesses and then winning off the back of that like securing R&D maybe you just have a position where like that's what you want to do. Ooh, yeah, particularly if you can still res your remote eyes, which was my reason. If you have something like Rashida waiting behind that, like
Yeah.
oh, that seems quite sensible to me.
Yes. I mean, of course, it's credit perfect, and oh, we have the pinhole.
We have the one-off pinhole, and this is gonna slow down this ob tremendously, I believe.
Yeah, and you okay.
Yep.
But of course, both players playing from basically nothing at this point.
Hmm.
We know the staff car and spin in hand.
Yeah, this was the one-off pinhole that you can't really play around. Although,
Yeah.
like, if you had thought about that, maybe you don't pop the virus and you just
Yeah.
keep a
Yeah. I
position
am.
of like two.
As in this. I'm just still thinking about this virus risk because like I guess Thimblerig is protecting against R&D single access, right?
Yes.
Uh, but I don't I'm not sure that Nichan's girl would have gone for uh like a turn one R&D like R&D run and like what's the expected value of such a run anyway.
Well, with two biobounds and three dirty laundry and a jailbreak, there are 6 run events that would make sense to play on the first turn. So maybe. It's hard to say.
Hmm.
We are back up on extract money, so let's see if Odd can bounce back
We do have a
from
hedge
that
fund access
pinhole
and
based setback.
yes.
Mhm.
Oh, and I misspoke. I said that there was a spin in HQ. There is not. There's Audacity Stavka, and Hedge, and two unknown cards.
Oh, I didn't even see the hedge fund access. True.
Okay.
I wonder if there is an instance where like you force a runner to go through this tattoo bola just to just to get the flip, just to get the money.
I mean, I think that's a perfectly valid, perfectly valid line.
Telework.
Yeah, and I think on balance, I probably wouldn't in if it was me in this bench, I probably wouldn't have played around the turn one pinhole either, just because it was a
Yeah.
mulligan on the runner side. And as you
Oh,
say, it is a
definitely.
one-off. So yeah, it is a little bit unfortunate for the club. But
I've been practicing this matchup a lot, and I've even heard some people say like, no, you don't pinhole the Rashida. Although here it was surgical, and I loved it. But in
yes,
general, like I've kind of heard like you want to pinhole the Tukana because like every score and steal that the Tukana fires just makes your life so much harder.
exactly. I can completely agree. So okay, we are back at hedge fund money. So back to solvency on the mana. But ooh, okay, roll jailbreak. Uh, is there ever a consideration to border control this? I mean, hypothetically speaking. Oh, but
I
this is
wonder,
this is not a
this draft this like rare include drafter. Oh my, that's a
that
problem.
that is not cheap. Stavka, all right, we've seen that.
Find the
Envelopment,
stuff
all
got
right.
development. Okay, so we drew a development. Um, there's still two unknowns in HQ, I believe.
Yeah, okay. Oh, okay. So Aksu, it is a lot of credits, but at least it's not like 6 credits. It's only 4 because you're kid.
Right.
Yeah, it's not so bad. It is bad, but not that bad.
It is. Are you ever gonna have a good way of breaking that either, though?
With Angolo lamp
Well,
turbine. I
if your
mean,
turbine is down, I guess it's like 2 credits.
it's 2
That's
credits,
okay.
correct?
And like you don't need to be running HQ that much. Although, ooh, here we see the power of Thimble Rig
That's right.
putting it onto R&D, and that kind of signifies. Okay,
Okay.
that's kind of interesting though. Like the earlier you score the hostile, the longer the runner gets to play with this bad pub. So right now running HQ is kind of free.
It's
Actually,
exactly free. But the implication is that there's nothing in HQ, which is like the whole entire reason why you'll be firstly okay with this jailbreak, and secondly okay with swapping the thermal back onto HQ, so to allow more HQ accesses when you know when you as the cop know how valuable they are specifically.
that sounds like a Anarch war poem to me. The imp location, there is nothing in HQ, because you trashed everything. That's kind of yeah. It does read that way. Although scoring this hostile without getting a Tukana off is
Yeah,
still
always a little bit sad.
yeah.
Sure.
Well,
But okay, mandatory draw. Uh,
some amount being spent thinking
yeah. I
about
mean,
the
both
next turn.
players have officially climbed out of the econ hole that they found themselves in at the end of turn 1.
Yeah, we might be seeing a push here actually. Um,
Whoa,
no, just
okay.
icing up everything.
The
Okay.
the 3x2, right? The classic.
Yeah. Is there any reason to ice archives in this matchup? Only like value runs sometimes.
Yeah, if you want to get a dirty laundry off, but it doesn't seem that important. Although of course it is I do believe it is a deep dive deck, so there's always some value in running archives.
Oh, it is. Right. It is. It is. Yeah, that's why this is so scary. Like you have 3 deep dives to contend with in the late game. So like you need to go pretty fast.
Hmm. And yeah, it doesn't appear
Though
that Niichan's girl is going to run out of econ anytime soon with this telework and this Anikam coming down.
yeah, this seems to me like so I believe back when we were discussing the matchup, like Brandon was suggesting like no, this kid just struggles to break a lot of the ice. Like this seems to have been like it's also a bit of the draw and how that's gone, but that seems to be the strategy we're going with. It's just um you're gonna have to pay too much to get through all my ice. So this op deck can do everything, and apparently right now we're playing Glacier.
I mean, you are kind of allowed to do that if you have a skunk in the list and there are exactly 0 pinholes left to contend with. It's never a rare drafter if the king's making an op deck is an addict. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, what's going on, Study? Nice to see you, Ryan. Okay. Let me just consider it right now. Let's say it's envelopment on top of server 1. That's 2 plus 5, 7 credits to go through.
Mm-hmm.
7 credits to go through, another 3 for Tatu Bola. So 10 credits to get into server 1.
Mm-hmm.
And a Malapert data vault. Okay, so this looks more like the push, right? Do we ice on top?
Oh
No,
yes.
just we ice back HQ. Interesting. Okay.
Thimblerig has done its job.
Yes.
Rearrange the ice and goodbye.
Okay, so Spark. Second and go.
Mhm.
Oh, all right. So that was this was probably like a 50-50. There's 2 Angolos, 1 lamb here. Okay. So overclock, we calculate 10 credits at most to get into this server.
Mhm.
And we have access to 12 here, which I'm not sure if you want to commit an envelopment res here. Probably you still do, just to force some breaker usage.
Mhm.
Although this is purely hypothetical, it may not even be envelopment on the outside. We'll see.
Right. It's definitely something worth thinking about. Like, you have 13 credits, so an envelopment res does not set you back too much.
Yeah.
But the earlier you res it, the harder it becomes to.
Yes. Okay, so I do have a question for you though. Oh, this is an envelopment.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my question is, we've seen 6 ice on the board. 1
Mhm.
ice trash the thimble rig from the extract. What are the odds that Tatu Bola is gonna fire here?
Oh, that's a really good question. In my head, it is firing, but actually, I don't know. And maybe just costing 3 credits is good enough that you don't actually mind the tattoo bullet just staying there. But mentally I was
Oh,
prepared for tattoo bullet to
excuse
clear.
me. This looks like envelopment is the trash up is gonna fire.
Fascinating. Okay.
It's very interesting. Okay. Uh, I think this is very nice because what it means is that Niichan skill will be credit and click perfect to get in and trash any potential skunk in this remote.
Well, unless this border control gets popped here, like if we see a swap from the Tatabola into a border control fire, that could still be kind of problematic. Although at that point the remote is very, very thin. But we do not see a swap, I believe.
Uh, it hasn't been declined yet, so the king is probably thinking, oh, it is a decline. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
probably not an ice in hand, which is interesting. It could be a Tukana, very, very fair.
And it
It is a
is a
Tukana.
Tucana.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay. So, again, like a very aggressive game, lots of resources being expended on both sides.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that was a pretty heads up envelopment fire. I do like that decision from the Chance Go.
Yeah, me too. And like every run, this bad publicity is just
Yeah,
coming in
exactly.
to generate value.
And still, Nichan's Go still no fear of running out record. We got, commission. We get a commission last turn, overclock into gamble now, and you can run back. This is just gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 credits, 5 credits plus minus the bad part, and another overclock. Damn.
Mm.
Forcing the issue here.
Very good as well, being careful and ending the last turn on 2 cards in hand, so you don't get got by the random
Mm-hmm.
Azif out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Uh, Actually, I think that it can't possibly be ice in HQ. We do know the last card is Audacity.
Oh, right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Um, that turn 1 access.
Yeah.
See a conversion, and it's just gonna cost 1 real credit to come in here.
Yes. Just doing a quick check on how much econ that Niichan's girlfriend has left. Just all gambles gone, 2 commissions. So 1 commission left, 1 overclock left. I want to say, yeah, 1 overclock left. We've seen 1 laundry. It's a spin doctor. Okay, fair enough. We did a spin doctor for econ. I dig it. I dig it. What are you spinning back? You probably spin back a spin and a extract or envelopment. I like the envelopment myself. Oh, we still got we got another decline. Damn. Maybe you run HQ now if you're Niichan skill.
But we do trash the Malapert. Nice. It seems kind of below average, just the amount of like cards we've seen being installed in the remotes without any agendas like propping up.
30 cards in R&D, so you expect 8-ish points in the game if you've only seen 1. And this is kind of like the curse of Rush Op, where you really want to see your agendas early on.
Usually you do, but here Niichan's Girl has been like challenging every potential push.
Yes, exactly.
To the point where it's turned out quite well in Brandon's favor, simply by virtue of the fact that Runner here is expending most of their resources on the remote.
Well, you say most. I kind of feel like she still probably has plenty of gas left in the tank, you know.
Oh, absolutely. No, the thread is by no means off of the table. And like the longer the game goes, the denser R&D is going to become. And then like eventually a deep dive might turn into like 4 points.
Exactly. That's the worry.
Still an extremely dangerous situation.
Yeah, so 3 commissions gone, 3 gambles. 2 overclocks. 2 overclocks.
Yeah.
So
the reverse, like imagine if at this point, like both of those contestings had been agendas, and Runner would be sitting on 4 points right now.
Yeah. Yeah, that would not be great. That's for sure. Okay, another push. Okay.
Okay. Is this the fabled? Is this a Managarm?
I think I would much rather it be a Managam than a Mavirus, because if it's a Mavirus, you know, you don't get to fetch a Managam and fetch something with the border control.
Oh yeah. Right.
Okay. Installing
like
daily casts with daily cast with that pup. Very nice.
Ooh. The power of playing Valencia.
Madame Estevez, the angel of Kayambe. The original 50 card runner before Mulch was a thing. Oh, I take that back. I take that back.
Yeah. So this is interesting too. Like you've gone for the install of the daily cast before going for the remote, and like the Hana insulates you in so much that like this is not your actual last click. And in fact, if you end up popping the Hana, you even have 2 more clicks after this.
That's correct. Although worth noting that this is the only Hana in the list. I don't believe that there are any more.
Yeah.
There's no way to generate additional clicks in this deck other than this Hana. So any deep dive is only going to be worth 2 points.
Interesting. Right. Because like we expect the border control being popped here, so you're at least taking the tag from the unsuccessful.
Surely we have a tattoo flip now. Surely.
I don't know. Maybe again, like the tattoo costs 3 credits every time. Like it's not that bad.
Yeah, sure.
It's
But even let's say a Horton here would also be 3 credits minimum. 4 if you don't want to give the cop credits.
Yeah, but you gotta spend all of your hard-earned tattoo money to res a Horton here. I don't know. Okay. And we're getting an ob. I'm not sure about the timing. I guess this means that we have passed on.
No, this is technically before passing, so Tattoo won't have a chance to. We won't know
Right.
if the king wanted to decline, but I guess the point is pretty moot. Oh, we cleared the tag. We cleared the tag instead of using wheels. All right. I guess there was there's. I don't think so.
Yeah,
5 credits.
this damn tattoo bola is just too taxing. We can't get in there.
Yeah, you kind of I can see it. I can see it. A two cost ice that costs 3 credits to get in. We haven't seen a lamb yet, and even if a lamb is still 2 credits. Not that you could install a lamb on this board. Tucana. Okay, here we go. So that it wasn't a skunk. It looks like a re. Advance 3 times. What you got? Looks like an Azif protocol. We're gonna try to spin or what?
Shall we snipe some deep dives?
Tempting, very tempting. Oh, this is a pretty tricky trash, right? I feel like you have to trash this spin. I don't think anything else is negotiable.
I wonder if like you bring back the thimble rig and then like you trash the sandstone to just re-grab a thimble rig, maybe?
Possible, and you would fetch another ice with the Tucana. Ice, and that's definitely what the king is considering, right? If we want to, for example, spin back the thimble. Spin back, for example, thimble border control, and then go Tucana the thimble. So you talk Tucana a border control, and as if the sandstone for thimble. That makes sense to me in my head. Yeah, but of course we could be contemplating the above the law, which one to trash. I think both daily cast and wheels are valid targets.
There are a few things that feel better on the corpse side than trashing a fully stacked daily cast.
Exactly.
It's just...
But just as if the Tucana Ice, you can't actually as if the Tucana Ice because as if is a cost to score, so you'd have to trash something first, and Tucana is a when scored ability.
True.
So you're not allowed to do that. So you have to make this. If it is as if, you have to make this decision now.
I wonder, like, do you really trash Spin Doctor before you trash one of your unrest ice on HQ soon? Okay, but it is the sandstone.
Okay. We're getting a 2-cost card now, so probably this Thimbrick.
Yeah.
Where is Thimbrick? Oh, the previous spin shuffled the Thimbrick. All right. It's fine.
Right. And we hit
A double dive. Excuse me. No swimming in this pond.
No, there are explosions happening in this pond, as the Azif shows.
And Azifa border control. As a Tucana border. Yeah, okay. Fair enough. Ooh, that was not great. I mean, the upshot is, of course, Niichan skill gets an Anekam draw, but that's kind of cold comfort.
True.
But,
Well, we still have one deep dive left, but yeah,
yes.
that's rough. Okay.
Yeah, and I will say this is definitely an AMT winning Azif snipe. Now we know. All right, dirty laundry.
Well, what was Brandon playing this ob at the AMT?
Yes, I believe he played this exact same 2 lists.
Fascinating. Well, I guess that's how he got his practice.
Undefeated, even.
Wow. Well, he deserves it. He's been working hard.
Oh, yes.
Kinds of lists. Okay. Well, I hope this dirty laundry connects. Is there anything that could actually stop it, though?
On 3 credits. Well, this makes it a little inconvenient, but it doesn't stop it.
Right. I feel like you're
Yeah.
almost happy as well that the runner, the corp is just reduced to 0 credits, so they can't do anything too extravagant on the next turn. Although we could still see click for a credit, install Octown, and click the Octown.
I mean, very true. Very true. And with this border control, okay, so question. How good is it to challenge this Tucana now? Do
I
you even have
don't
the crits?
love it just because the tattoo triggered.
Oh
Like, we've
no,
just seen a Soundstone HQ, so it's confirmed, and that
oh
would bounce the corp back up on credits too
yes.
much.
And I've ignore me because I forgot. Kit has already been used this turn, so border control is no longer a code kit. So there's no way that's happening.
That
But okay,
turbine
turbine comes down.
the board.
Relevant against drafter. Relevant against envelopment. Well, not really against envelopment. Against sandstone.
Mm. Oh yeah,
and
very.
and a rest Stavka. Thimblerick swapping with border control. Very cute interaction. You of course can swap it back if you are fearing any kind of remote challenge.
Oh yeah, Sebastian did that to me recently. I was practicing the Sable, and it's just like this. Yeah, like this border control is suddenly on HQ and the remote at the same time.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It
I mean
was
it's a
awful.
I really love that interaction, but ooh, all right.
Wait, wow. Okay, so we're getting a lamb.
Okay. So lamp 4 strength, not super relevant. Now of course you can break border control for 2 credits without with it being the innermost, which is a nice touch. And Tattoo Bola gets broken for 2 instead of 3. But now I think finally at long last we are seeing a little bit of the econ drying up for Niichan's girl. Yeah, we have gone through a lot of it, right? We've got 2 teleworks out. This is the third. No, there's no. There isn't the third telework. Is there a third telework? Yes, there is a third telework around here somewhere. So 3 gambles, 3 commissions, uh, 2
Dirty
laundries.
laundries.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so yeah, so no good dirty laundry targets on this board remaining. I guess you could, laundry archives and dare the king to pop BC on the laundry, but that doesn't feel good either.
If
Not for
only
the
we
corp at
had a
least.
way to keep bouncing our liberated accounts back to hand. All right, we're seeing some. Yeah, you're precisely right. Not enough economy, so instead we're gonna click for some credits and contest this remote.
So I wonder what server one is now actually, because so Thimbrick's broken for bad part, of course. Tattoo for 2 credits, so down to 4. Wow, if this would be such a big blowout if this was exactly Medigam Skunkworks.
That's true. I could see this being a Rashida personally.
And okay,
Like I feel like positioning.
surely now at 2 credits you flip the Tattoo Bola. Surely.
Oh, definitely. Like you've seen the Sandstone in hand. I feel like that's
Yeah.
just gonna happen here. But you're not seeing a swap for border control, so you're not even interested in grabbing that here, which
Mm.
indicates that this is probably not an agenda.
Yeah. Okay, tattoo swaps, 6 credits. Now if this is a okay, it is not. It is a regolith. Oh, this is a tough trash
Never.
though. You can clean out this, but it's oh yeah, it is hella expensive, and now Niichan's girl
Yeah.
is flat broke.
And that's a hard fork as well because like you're very interested in trashing this Tucana, but like you're probably not that happy to have Corp have a regolith here either. Like them just being able to click for a bunch of credits is also kind of
Yeah,
annoying.
it's a hell of a lot of credits, and the Malapert is still in archives, but this spin can pop it back at a moment's notice and fetch a Malapert with the regolith trash trigger.
Yeah.
And at 3 points, now I think about it, you probably don't even need it because we know for a fact that this audacity is still in hand. Which, as Bar has points out, Bar points out, challenging the spin is probably important here, just because of the threat of that
Oh yeah.
audacity.
Oh, very true. And there's only one slash and burn in the deck, but the audacity also increases the danger of it. One of the things Brandon likes to happen the least, I believe, is having both audacities in the hand at the same time.
Oh yeah, I mean that's definitely. Of course, there is only one audacity in this list.
Oh right. I should be studying these lists. The orb I played against had two audacities.
Yes. Of course, the QTM version much more focused on the pure fast advance. With the Cali testing, two audacities, etc., etc.
10 credits. This is scary. Like, I think the one. Maybe now it's starting to become a good thing for the runner that like Corp has not been drawing agendas so far.
Hmm. Although, I mean, surely 20 cards left in R&D. I want to say there's two agendas in HQ. Okay, maybe not with this click one draw.
Yeah.
And you
I think
ice on top of
we've
this?
probably drawn one by now. Maybe even two. But like imagine if you had to score like a slash and burn here or something, like you're just not
Yeah, it's
drawing any
awful.
other.
I mean, I've done that like a couple of times. Usually in the games where you have to score a slash and burn, you probably lose.
Mm.
Just because like
But
the investment.
it's similar though for the hostile takeover, right? Like scoring that as your first agenda is also not something you're super happy about usually. Okay, but we see a contestation on the remote, so let's see what happens here.
Hmm. Contestation, what a word.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Scrumptious.
this is a click 3 run. Okay, Tatu is back.
Mm.
Angolo breaks for 1 credit. Almost certain to see a flip here. There we go. And Thimbleweed for 1 credit. Still perfectly fine. We probably see a border control swap here if this is a push.
Mm-hmm. It sounds reasonable. Ooh, but we are thinking about this. This could just be like a awful situation where you put a manic arm in there. Or
Found out streamer.
maybe there's
Maybe.
a virus for manic arm action going on, so you're not even interested in like also using the border control at the same time.
Sure, but with 2 clicks left from this wheels.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
there
there we
could
go.
be a formicary on the board, or the tattoo could have just swapped in a formicary, even.
Oh yeah, I absolutely love that trick. That was
So
a
this is. Mhm.
uh so so as you know, Yisengun has had Bblum on his stream for a couple of times now, talking
Mhm.
about Rush Op, and they've been pretty down on Tatu Bola in general. But I've I've been like remaining super up on it just because of the trick of because if you're on this skunk op and you have a formicary in deck, or in hand, let's say in hand because you malapurted it, you can res a tattoo and they pass the tattoo and you flip it into a formicary, and then out of nowhere you have a skunk formy like on otherwise
Monstrous. Jai, I fully agree with you. We need to unban Mati Mukundu, like just so
I
everyone can
that is
enjoy
not where I was
each year.
going with that statement. Please, this co-caster does not
I'm
reflect
totally on board with you. Like,
does
yes,
not
I am.
reflect my personal opinions. Please, NSG.
I'm very grateful you brought this up. Yes, I agree. I'm with
there's
you here. We will fight this together.
Yep. Kayambe did a hell of a lot of things wrong. Okay, and you can quote me on that. And
Yep.
that is not to say that any of the cards in this conversation are blameless. All right.
And we saw a long amount of time being spent thinking here, and now we see some action with the sandstone being rezzed after all.
Okay, yeah, okay, this goes through for easy with this boomerang, and conveniently on the next run, Lamb breaks it for 2 credits after the turbine.
I
But
find
of
this very
course,
hard to read. Okay, but I suppose we were going for the push out.
okay, so we do take a tag off of this wheels, and I feel like if now ever was the time, you have to pop these wheels to get the third click back, so you can challenge this well, alleged uh skunk. But no, okay, looks like just
Yeah.
laundry.
Hmm.
This laundry is basically worth the full amount because you're just paying bad for this Timberrick, which is very nice.
I wonder giving up on the remote because this successful access is actually going to. I was just thinking about the nefariousness of a purge on this board state, suddenly like turning the sandstone, particularly the inner sand,
Hmm,
be otherwise. But you're kind of like this access gives the corp another purge
that's
without
true.
any use of actually rezzing and
Yeah,
popping my virus.
yeah. So now it's completely off the table, off the cards to challenge server one. That in turn means that Niichan will probably preserve the wheels. No, okay, so we're getting a wheels click back. Okay, so where we going with DJ and ooh, running back HQ, huh? This is gonna cost 2 credits minimum.
Hmm.
No, okay. Oh yes, I forgot. It is a save. It's a DJ Sable and not a Steve. That's the other way to get extra clicks on the
Mhm.
deep dive turn. All right.
Although I even wonder about DJ Ketzel in this situation, just to break the sandstone for free.
Hmm. Oh, it's just a Rashida. All right.
That makes like I had a really hard time reading what was going on in the remotes. That kind of makes sense, I think.
I mean, I feel like there's a reasonable chance it was like an above the law or something. You push the above the law this turn, you go to 4 credits, but then with this audacity in hand that
Yeah,
everyone knows you have since turn one, it's like a
but it
real.
it, it makes it make more sense why the king had to think about whether or not to get the border control. I feel.
Hmm. Yeah, it is definitely a committal to pop this border control, like without it being an agenda. Because with 2 spins out, it's unlikely that you're able to force a second audacity score.
Yeah, imagine if Ob could play 3 copies of Longevity Serum. Now that would be something.
uh, okay, I will accept the nickname of MT Jai,
Mm.
although although y'all are aware that it isn't an acronym, right? It's MT. But
Ooh.
either way.
Yes, you have now become the spokesperson for the free Muti movement.
Okay, this is not where I wanted to go when I started the night. I prefer to keep the obviously broken cards where they are. Although, if SBT decides to unban crowdfunding, I wouldn't say no to that. Come on.
Ooh, no, that's a card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've had really good experiences with zero cost criminal resources that generate a lot of money over the course of the game, and the corp just can't contest them. And we like those. Yeah.
Yeah, you would know. You would know. Oh, was it install
So
advanced? Okay, this is the audacity. Surely this is the audacity. Oh no! Wait, hold up. What is going on here?
it's a fascinating board state. Maybe this is the,
Okay.
the legendary slash and burn push because we haven't gotten any other
Oh
agendas
no!
used.
Slash and burn. Surely not.
More realistically, we can expect an atlas being pushed here
Yeah,
too.
yeah. I mean, because if this is the cursed slash and burn install advance, that indicates there are 15 points in R&D. Because there sure as hell aren't any in HQ.
Rashida drew a lot of cards, so like on that last turn we might have drawn some things.
Okay, buyer bans on archives now. One face down, probably no. Oh my god, it's this damn tattoo bowler again. Stop it!
Trusty tattoo ball.
Stop it, get out of here!
I think tattoo bowler is so happy to get out of here. It just
Yeah.
keeps coming.
It's what it does. It is what it does. Jai knows a lot about how to pronounce the T for someone who claims to wanted to stay banned. Okay,
Oh my god.
I've been made the leader of this movement somehow, and I don't even know. This is not what I wanted when I started the night. When I said, hey, you want to come and stream the Niichan's girl versus the king? I didn't expect myself to become a resistance leader. You know.
They never do. They never do. But when they hear the call of action, you know, like
The
I
revolution.
knew you would. I knew you would step up. You know. Exactly.
I didn't even realize that. I didn't even realize that Niichan's girl floated attack last turn. Damn. Buyer bans draw 2, remove attack? Really?
I'm not sure if she did. Like I think we might have just used the remove one tag clause as like a do nothing thing here because I don't
Right,
think there
because
was a tag.
nothing to install, right? Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
There couldn't have been attack, right? We popped this wheels.
Yeah. And I
Okay,
think we're going for a big deep dive here, right? Like this is the dream. Just
yeah, this
find an
has
agenda on the axis, find an agenda on HQ, just find 2 agendas on the deep dive and just
the legendary 7-point dive turn.
Yes. This was a question for the Netrunner philosophers. Can you remove a tag you don't even have? You know.
If a tag gets removed in archives, does it make a sound?
Does it make a ping?
Does it make a
Yes.
ping? That's correct. And can they afford a deep dive? Yeah, that's a question. I suppose the what does Niichan's girlfriend have access to? There's no more laundries, so you can't get money off of that. Oh, this is tricky though. I suppose you can telework and get a deep dive single rather than a double.
Something I wonder whether or not is being contemplated here. Like
Yeah,
we're contemplating
there's
the
no more
res.
laundries. Yeah.
But are you also contemplating Mavirus into put skunk somewhere just
I
to
think that's I
like
think that's extremely rude, and I think you do that. You only do that
yeah.
after a drafter gets passed. Right?
This could literally be a formicary though, that like you are not sure if
Yeah.
it's ever worth resing here.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of feel like the upgrade in server 1 is this virus. It's been just sitting there since forever and ever and ever.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think this hypothetical math into skunk is game ending, but we will see. Because in theory, if this is an atlas, I mean, if this is an A and atlas or B, like God forbid a slash and burn, right? It, the king would still need 3 credits to score it, down to 7, and one more to install Advance Audacity, the last 3 to agenda. So he only has 6 credits to play with on this defense, and Mav is half of that already.
Right.
Okay, so overclock for Angolo breaking drafter. 1 left in overclock and 1 bad part. 1 access. Nothing.
Aww. Tarnation.
Tarnation. So that was the 3rd overclock, unfortunately. So this HQ run will be a lot more tricky with only 3 credits access after the bad part. You will telework, okay, so Six credits for this run, down to three after
Mhm.
down to three after passing Afshar.
It
Compile
really turned
Pishashol.
into a yeah.
No, just reading Utati saying compile Pishashol, telework get to deep dive. Um, yes, although in HQ Innermost is eminently reservoir, and I think we have seen a staff car from the very first turn of the game, and if this is a staff car, this is actually just game ending.
Eminently Reservoir is gonna be my first Netrunner rap title. I think that
Uh,
sounds pretty good. Yeah, this is rough. Like this really turned into a Glacier game
yeah,
after all.
funny, and we were saying like how this bad pup would start adding up. It did, end up adding up, but it evidently didn't add up to enough. I feel like
Yeah, but you know why? You know exactly why it didn't, because Tattoo Bola was just too damn taxing to break like
that's
over and over and
oh
over. We never swap it out.
yeah. I mean, we don't swap it out until we start swapping it out, and then it's on every damn server we start running,
Precisely.
and that's why you play imp, because it's, I mean, them's the rules, right? If you swap Tattoo Bola and run HQ, you're gonna access it, and that's
Yeah.
where you get them.
I wonder about something like Stavka here, which would be very
Yeah,
scary in some
I,
sense.
I I do think that it could be very well a Stavka on HQ here, and there it is. Wow, calculated. There we go. Trashing face down card, and Stavka fires. Oh boy, it's not gonna end well. Yeah, so it looks like what's the yeah, so Angolo and Lamb are gone. So that's the last breaker solution, and slash and burn from HQ. Alright.
And
Deep
there it
dive.
is.
Oak Town, Oak Town, Oak Town. Damn straight.
Well, they had to be somewhere.
There had to be somewhere.
Yeah. And you can still go into R&D for now.
That's correct. You have one server left to access from, and uh, in theory, if the skunk is in server one, it's stuck on server one, and you can't drafter can't
Yeah.
actually fetch it for you.
The real problem is like Drafter still gets some. Okay.
Okay,
We're
project
just going for
apples. All
this.
right.
Drafter could install some kind of ice. Although it's interesting, we're not choosing to swap the thimble rig onto R&D here.
Hmm. That just seems more straightforward. Although if this can't be Tatabola, right? Surely not.
No, I believe that's back in hand right now.
Yeah. So what is this thing?
Although Drafter could still install the Tattoo Polar after this run.
That is true. Yeah. So because Niichan skill can never win off a single run, so Tattoo can always get installed here.
And I
Uh,
think Ob can win on 1 credit next turn by just
yes, with this,
install advanced
because
glasses.
exactly with this Atlas counter. So Niichan's girlfriend has these accesses left to make before the game just basically ends. Every other server is locked out. Uh, yeah, so the straightforward play is to let the. You know what? I think this is the Formicary. That's my call. That's my call shot. This is
I,
probably
I, I
Formicary.
had the same read, and that would be really funny because if you rest the Formicary here, like Runner can still get in twice and just go down to
Yes.
0 cards in hand.
Yes. Exactly. That by far the safer play is just to let the drafter fire. Or to
Yeah.
install the Tattoo Bola off the drafter fire, and you still are credit perfect to win the game.
But Nichensko still has um a boomerang in hand, right? So like in theory we can get in there
No, the
twice.
boomerang got stranded from the border control.
Oh, we're only on one, right?
Yeah,
Sorry, for some reason I thought there were two.
yeah, only one boomerang. I believe all the influence is accounted for.
Mm, okay. Then In theory, at least, installing the Tattoo Bowler should be a perfectly safe line. Even if
Yes,
an agenda gets stolen on this axis.
I think that's correct. Okay, so no, so far so good in terms of the game plan.
This may also be like some of it might be just Kikai needing to transmit the information of the board state onto
Ah, that's true.
Brandon, and then
That's
makes
very
the
true.
decision based on that.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's correct. The move symbol equals no servers to run off. Although of course it could be a discarded agenda in archives, although that's vanishingly unlikely. But the as we've discussed already, the tattoo from hand is winning as well.
Yes, and I believe we know the
Wait,
first
hold up.
is an ice.
No, this cannot be right. Excuse me? A Rashida install?
Oh wow.
This is
what is happening?
I mean, this is just okay, this is exciting now, I suppose. Oh, okay, never mind. It's not agenda on top.
It
There's no.
is, but the access whiffs. Yeah.
Okay.
And it is a Rashida.
It's a Rashida. Okay, and then yeah, game is practically over from here. Unless I mean, there's no way that Audacity got discarded, right? No, okay, no way, no friggin' way.
No. No, question mark. Yeah. All right.
Oh wow, this was extremely hard fought on both sides. I think Niichan's gonna put on fantastic pressure, like in the first I want to say first half of the game, until turn 8, turn 9, with the Anikam and the just the economic sustain that you got from just all the operation economy.
Oh, definitely. The pinhole is very surgical as well. Like I
Extremely, yeah.
like that a lot. Just to, like the corp had to spend so much time just like winding back up, and then I think it was also a lot of like bad luck that like the corporation for some reason like there were no agendas.
Yeah,
for,
no,
like,
that's
forever.
the top 20 cards had one hostile. Really? Really?
So everything that looked very much like a push, in fact, happened to be, just like something that mattered, but in the end, like took a lot of sales
Yeah,
out of the runner's wins here.
exactly.
The little tattoo bowler that could.
Mm. Okay, so that is a sweep for the king. I mean, if we are tracking unbeaten streaks, this is definitely continuing that unbeaten streak. I always like kind of tracking these kind of things, especially from like my background watching a bunch of MOBAs. Like unbeaten,
that's interesting.
yeah, unbeaten streaks in like competitive play are always fun to track. So
This is how you get obsessed with like sweeping Bridgman. It's just what I'm gonna say. He's like, haha, I haven't been like swept in so long, and I'm like, next time, next time we see each other.
I mean, I legitimately don't know the last time Bridgman has been swept. Has that ever happened?
I think it might have been something like Swedish Nationals or something. I'm not sure.
Right.
Actually.
I mean,
I came very close at German Nats.
the last time I played him was at APAC Continentals, and I was like so over the moon from because I got I was playing Hermes Tau, as you know, at that event, and he was on Asa, and I think all three Hermes were in my bottom 6 cards, and I couldn't I couldn't install my Angolo. Yeah, that was pretty rough. Yeah, I was pretty down after that game, but game two I played Bladward R plus into Freedom, and I somehow won that game. And I tell you what, I tell you what, I after I won the game, my hands were shaking so hard I could barely type GG on my keyboard. It's crazy.
I've been there many times. I think like and even these games here were riveting like that. I think like even the first game by itself, and then like huge props to both players for sticking it out in these
Yeah,
long
and
and complicated games. Yeah.
yeah, and 52 minutes for this one, 60 minutes for the first. We've been here for over 2 hours already.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, hell of a match, and I mean, well played to both players, of course, and I do believe this brings the score to 2-1 in Unband's
Two
favor.
and
And
one,
yeah, so
and
because
being
you,
redeemed by the king, and
yeah, it always feels good to get carried once in a while. I know, I know, I'm always down to get carried a bit.
yeah, I've been spending most of my time, to be fair, like making sure everyone on the team has been getting like all of the resources that they need.
Okay.
And in that, I might have slightly neglected my own my own need to practice. Um, but I had a most wonderful game with Court Gang as well on
Hmm.
yesterday. And I'm really looking forward to our game on Thursday. Although I wish the best of luck to Kikai here. And you know, it's also fun like if the Thursday game remains high stakes, because I believe what we're going into here with the Latin to PD is somewhat unfavored. So like
Hmm.
it's
Latin
gonna
to
stay
PD.
exciting until the end. Like QTM are really worthy adversaries, and just what they've been doing for the game is incredible, I think.
For sure. And I mean, you don't need to tell me anything about worthy adversaries. I know all about it firsthand. But yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so you
Yes,
have
is
Latin to
Tiebreakers getting
PD.
their revenge anytime soon?
I mean, revenge is an interesting word because I would put it more as QTM got their revenge on us for
Oh yeah. Yeah.
specifically Augustus beating Tuno at Italian Nationals. Uh, yeah, but I mean that's a whole anime arc by itself, right? In terms
Nice.
in terms of the terms of the rivalry.
And it's gonna be even better when Mitty gets unbanned and then like everyone starts playing it. And yeah, I can't wait. I
And
agree.
I I have no part in this. Just let it go on record for the stream that this is not my idea. I blame you, and I blame Bahram Wu, and I blame Utati. Okay, y'all.
You have not accepted your destiny just yet. That's fine.
Hmm.
Take your time. The burden of leadership is a heavy one.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Okay. Are you planning on streaming any more games this week?
So let me check my schedule. My plan was to stream Augustus versus was it I can't remember the let me check. Augustus versus Lovelace
Hmm.
tomorrow at about half an hour later than we started today, but I'm not sure if I'll be available at that timing. I mean, if of course if I am, I'll be more than happy to have you on again if you're free.
Oh, right. Well, I might be playing. Oh no, it's tomorrow.
It is yeah,
Hmm.
tomorrow. And actually, Kikai versus Izzy is in 2 hours. Damn, wow, Kikai going straight
Yes.
into it. This is just this will just be a one game series, correct? For the Lat vs PD. When is your round two? Or when is your game two?
My round two is on Thursday. I think we haven't fully fixed a time, but I'm looking at around like an hour earlier from now to maybe. Actually, I would. Yeah, that would be about good. I think like about. Um, well, it is. It would be 4 p.m. over here in Austria. It's probably quite a bit later over there in Singapore.
Well, it is just
I
past midnight here, so
Yes, so that would be 11 p.m. But just one game.
that'll be tomorrow. Is that right?
No, that's on Thursday.
Thursday. Okay. Okay. So yeah, we'll see if I can swing that timing. I
Cool.
think it's marginally more likely I can make that than tomorrow, but I'm not sure either way. But
Right.
in any case, we will definitely be in touch.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think that should be about all. Again, thank you very much for sticking with me all this time for over 2 hours. Was Tempest Game on stream? I don't believe your Game On was streamed, was it?
No, it was not.
Ah,
The replay is around. I didn't actually play myself. November played for me, so
understood.
it was a it was a really it was really good. It was the best any of us could muster, and Cork Gang just played that perfectly, despite actually having not great openings, I think, but somehow like good bluffs and yeah, just really good piloting of the obelisk saw them through.
Of course, of course. And yeah, so I mean, all the best to all the remaining participants in this particular matchup, Unband Neurofire versus Q Trademark. Yeah,
Mm.
and maybe I'll be back tomorrow with Augustus versus Lovelace. I believe that would be Thai. Where is it? Where is it? Okay, it's here. Draw one queer card versus Thai Augury. I
Ooh.
can't remember the I can't remember the rounds the game score for this particular match. I'll check it out before I start the stream. If I start the stream, I'm still not sure about my availability. But yeah, more likely I'll be around on Thursday, and we'll see about tomorrow.
Amazing. Okay. Thank you to everyone watching at home as well. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks for having me on, Jai.
Of
And yeah,
course,
we
always a
have a
pleasure.
lot of incredible games ahead of us, I think.
Oh yes, yes, and this is still only round one. But yeah, so that should be about it. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you again very, very soon.
Mhm.
And always be running and stay hydrated.